This is a prelude to Monday's episode of Into Your Head, which, although technically comes out every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, that doesn't mean it's always a good idea to listen to every episode, especially if you're one of the many new listeners who have found me in the last week, thanks to some success on iTunes. Suffice to say, I've got a cold, and if you don't like listening to people when they're not at their best in terms of being slightly hoarse and making the occasional disgusting noise, then you mightn't want to start here. Go back a couple of episodes and listen to one of my peak form ones, and as you grow to love the content, then you can come back and listen to this one, because this isn't I'm not at my best. Well, the content is fine, but my voice sounds like it's being passed through a cow's arse, and the cow's arse has the common cold and has had it for several days now, despite there being a heat wave. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. There's a heat wave on, and I'm here. I've caught a common cold. I came on very suddenly. I went to the airport last week to collect a relative, and while I was there, I apparently contracted a cold because 3 hours later I had a sore throat. I was led to believe that a cold is something that develops over several months, because that's why when you want to bring your pets abroad now, within the European Union catchment area anyway, you apply for a pet passport so you can avoid having a 6-month quarantine, but they check first to see if your cat has a cold, because if you bring a cold in with you to someone else's airport, that's considered bad. I watched that thing, that Australian thing they show on the smaller satellite channels about the Australian customs and excise service. So I stop people coming into Australian airports and they say, have you got a cold? You're putting this entire country's livelihood at risk. You could cause us to get the potato famine, just like they did in Ireland back in the 1800s. You'll have to stop there, madam. I see on your form here you haven't declared that you have a cold or that you're carrying raw meat that's being drowned in some sort of rare disease that you've extracted from a plant for some reason, and you may be 97, but I'm going to shout at you anyway because you're a bitch. That's what they say in Australian customs and well, according to this documentary series anyway. I doubt that any of it is true, even though it's filmed in front of a live place. It's filmed in an airport. They film real people doing real things, but all these reality shows, they're all fake. If you want real reality, the only way to get it is to go out into the real world. And collect it through your own camera so you can vouch for its realness. Of course, you can't do that because if you're looking at stuff through a camera, you can't tell whether it's real. That could be just something that some app has placed in front between you, your camera, and the world in front of it. So there's no way. You can't tell if anything is real anymore. How do you know this is real? You're a new listener here now who's found me because I've been jumping in and out of the top charts in the Irish comedy humour podcast iTunes store this week, and I've been dropping in and out of the freaking not the new and noteworthy, the other thing. The hot. I've been in the hot section of the comedy section of the iTunes Ireland store this week a couple of times. So if you came here because iTunes told you that this show is hot, then just be aware that I've been through this whole experience of going, oh yes, and on the way out of the airport as well, our car frigging broke down on the frigging motorway, and I stood there waving my jump leads at Dubliners going by, and they all ignored me until someone happened to have to stop in front of us anyway, and then we got a jump, and then everything was fine in the end. But still, if you're a Dubliner listening to this, and you were on the M50 last Friday, and you saw me waving jump leads at you, and you pretended not to notice, or else you sat behind the car, blowing your horn at us when you can see damn well you're broken down, then you're a cunt. But thank you for tuning in anyway. Please stay subscribed. Just because you're a cunt doesn't mean you can't enjoy my show and vote for it and write a review in iTunes. But nonetheless, anyway, hello to all the new subscribers, and on with the introduction to the show.
You're listening to Into Your Head, hosted by Neal, Ireland's version of the Octomom. Except he's a dude, and has cats.
You join me at a tremendously exciting moment. It's Into Your Head, number 584 for Monday. We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Oh, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of my nose. That's been the problem for the last few days. I've had a lot more than topics coming out of my nose, and therefore have been unable to record for several days. So we have some catching up to do now. We have to catch up. If this was a round the world race, it wouldn't be a problem, because I could just lag behind by a whole lap and then catch up on myself. Can you catch up on yourself backwards? I don't know. Ask Professor Stephen Hawking. He's the expert on that sort of thing. According to him, you just wait until the world ends and then it starts to go backwards through time. So if you had a race long enough for Professor Stephen Hawking's liking, a man who can't even walk, and he's telling us how to run a frigging marathon. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Although he's perfectly entitled to voice his opinion on anything. If he wants to voice his opinion on something, absolutely fine by me. Professor Stephen Hawking, go ahead and voice your opinion. I may not agree with any single fucking word of what you say, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it, because this is a free country. Ireland is a free country, and although you may have never been to Ireland, I don't know, you're often on the BBC, whose airwaves are broadcast freely into this country, mainly by leakage out of their intended catchment area, but nonetheless, no. Professor Stephen Hawking's voice is carried free through the airwaves here. Especially if you're on the east coast on a mountain. I used to live on a mountain on the east coast, and we used to pick up Professor Stephen Hawking's documentary programs for free over the air. Now, of course, I live further inland. I have to have a big fucking dish up, and I'm getting another dish next week. I'm going to have proper grown-up high-speed internet. It's going to be absolutely fucking fantastic. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, hello and welcome to the show. Two cats walk into a bar. One of the cats goes straight up to the bar. He goes straight up to the bar. The other cat, so you're probably expecting that, as usual, he'll go and sit down because it's not his round. But no, there's some confusion on this occasion, and unfortunately, it's one of those trendy bars where there's more than one bar counter. So the other cat wanders over to the other bar counter and orders the exact same round. Fortunately, it's a very trendy bar. The barmen at each counter are connected to each other by walkie-talkies. And they phone everything in. One of them phones in and says, hello, I have an order here for a pint of Guinness and a bowl of milk. And the other barman at the same time phones in, hello, I have an order here for a saucer of milk and a pint of Guinness. And the manager in the middle somewhere says, why don't you two you merge your two orders. Two of you do the two Guinnesses, and two of you do the two milks. Because he's a time and motion man. Time and motion people, they're very good at this. They come along and say, oh, that fella shouldn't be doing one Guinness and one milk. He should be doing all the Guinnesses, and the other fella should be doing all the milks. Makes a lot more sense. There's a lot less movement of the arm involved when he has to go when he doesn't have to keep going from the Guinness tap to the frigging milk fridge every frigging 30 seconds. Then, of course, the assistant time and motion manager fella who's trying to go for a promotion. He decides he's going to show off, and he decides to put his oar in, and he says, excuse me, sir, manager, could I respectfully suggest that while it's a good idea to have one fella doing the milk and the other fella doing the Guinness, can I suggest that since our customers very, very rarely consist of cats, having someone devoted purely to serving milk is unnecessary and a waste of time, because this is a very rare appearance by these cats. And the manager says, you're fired. Fuck you, how dare you criticise me? Who the hell do you think you are? Go off now and get a job in some McDonald's place and see how you like it there. I believe a lot of cats like the milk they serve in McDonald's. The fresh milk that comes in a little tub. Muddy the cat particularly likes that. Oh, she'll drink it straight out of the tub. As long as you open the foil lid for her, then she'll drink it. Oh, she'll drink it like there's no tomorrow, which is just as well, because by the time tomorrow comes, it'll still be fresh, because they probably put 85 chemicals in it. But the best way to drink milk is straight away. Drink it straight away. Ideally drink it straight out of the cow's udder. But a cat wouldn't be tall enough to reach a cow's udder. It would have to jump up and hang off her with its mouth. And if it has enough teeth to hang on to a cow's udder, then it's too old to be drinking milk out of any animal. It should be drinking it out of a glass. But of course, try explaining that to the barman and the frigging the woman who milks the cows. And don't shoot the messenger, incidentally. It's not my fault that she's a woman. I'm not being sexist. If the woman who milks the cows happens to be a woman, then it's perfectly reasonable for me to refer to her as a woman in this narrative. Don't be shooting the messenger here. I don't. You come along here, criticize. And then the manager says, did you not hear me? I said you're fired. And he said, yes, indeed. You're going to issue me a formal warning and an explanation of my firing. And the manager says, no, because I never hired you in the first place. You don't even work here. You're just some drunk who's decided to pretend you work here, and I've been humouring you up till now, but when you start frigging making pronouncements about how I'm managing things, then it gets a bit much. Customer or no customer, get out of my bar. You're fired as a customer and as a pretend employee. And then the next day they're all in court. This fella is suing the manager for making a mockery of him just because he's drunk. And of course the judge of course says, are you drunk? And the fella says, yes, I am drunk. That's the whole point of this whole lawsuit. I am drunk, and my drunkenness is being taken advantage of. And the judge said, well, you could have laid off the drink at least for your day in court, do you not think? The man says, what do you mean do I not think? Do you mean do I think? What's with the frigging double negatives? Next you'll be going, do you not agree with this? And I'll have to say, oh, I'm drunk. I can't figure out all those verbal mathematical equations. Give me a break. And then, of course, the judge says, you're fired. And by fired, I mean you're thrown out of court. I'm throwing this case out, not physically, that's a metaphor, but I'm throwing it out of court, just like Judge Judy says. Judge Judy would put it differently, of course, because she's trying to entertain the TV audiences. She'll do something dramatic like shouting or saying, get out of my studio, court, or whatever the hell it's called. What do you call that thing that Judge Judy is in? I call it a television set, but that's becoming less credible now with the flat TVs. It used to be back in the old days when you had a big cuboid shaped TV. It was slightly more credible to think that Judge Judy was inside it in some way. Especially if it was on top of a cabinet, a closed cabinet. You could imagine that she was sitting in the cabinet with her head looking up through the screen at you. But no, that doesn't work anymore with these flat LCD things, and especially when you're sober. Why would you be drunk when Judge Judy is on? She's on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, for Christ's sake. If you're already drunk by the time Judge Judy, unless of course you're watching her on is it ITV4 or one of those digital channels, shows her at 8 o'clock at night. If you're drunk by then, I suppose, then it's reasonable. But those are old reruns, so you've already seen them before at 4 in the afternoon a few years prior. And if you were drunk when you saw them the first time, then I'll tell you, you might as well be this fella in the story. Anyway, as I say, that's what happens when two cats go up to separate bars.
Hello, I'm Judge Judy, and when I'm not doling out judge-tertainment to the ignorant masses, I listen to Into Your Head.
Now, I should probably explain something here. If you're a listener to this show, and you've subscribed to it, you've just discovered podcasts, and you said, I'll press the subscribe button here in iTunes and I'll subscribe to it. I hope it's not too expensive. Well, I've good news for you there. It's completely free of charge. You're not obliged to pay a single cent for this show. But in return, I spend a couple of minutes in the middle of each episode asking you to provide a single cent for this show, because it's 3 times a week, half an hour, except when I'm sick or something, and it needs to be paid for. So if you'd like us to support this show, the best way is to go to intoyourhead.com/offers. Go there every time you're going to shop on Amazon for a start, and I get a cut of every purchase you make through Amazon if you go through my site. Amazon Canada, Amazon.com, Amazon UK, they're all there. If you have any other Amazons that you want to use, let me know, because I can probably add them. I also have pet store affiliates on 85 different continents. I have a prescription glasses place that ships worldwide. You can buy your... people have been buying glasses through there, and I get a cut of the action. You can also just leave a tip in the Into Your Head tip jar, intoyourhead.com. It's all there, intoyourhead.com/offers. There's a big arrow pointing to everything you need. You can help the show without it costing you a single cent, and I get more than a single cent, because there's excellent commission on these things. You're not just playing, what's that thing they say? You're not just playing... I forget the freaking word. But you're not, you're not just paying lip service when you do stuff like that, you know. If you go through my links whenever you're going to Amazon, I get several % of your total. In fact, I just got my latest Amazon voucher this morning for my Amazon.com ones. It was quite a sizable amount. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but it was a sizable amount, and I've been using it towards my shopping. I can tell you, it means when people come in here and say, do you spend your whole frigging day podcasting? I can say yes, and it makes frigging money, so fuck you. That's what I can say. So help me to tell people that I do this to make money, and fuck you, by going to intoyourhead.com/offers. It doesn't even need to cost you anything, because you're shopping on Amazon anyway, your pets need feeding anyway, your eyes need glasses anyway, unless they don't, in which case you could probably get blank glasses, get non-prescription glasses, just for style. It's probably goes in and out of fashion, but every few years there's a fashion where the youngsters are all getting these blank glasses that don't do anything except add to their appearance, because we all know glasses look fantastic on you. Everyone wants glasses. I've had the good fortune to need glasses all my life. I need them even more now. I've got Oh, I've got ice cubes now. It's absolutely fantastic. I've got the coolest glasses known to man, and you can have them too. And what's more, I get a cut of it. So just go to intoyourhead.com/offers on with the show. Did we ever finish the story about the two cats who went up to two separate bars? There's a question for me. Did you ever finish that story? You're the only one who can decide this, because regardless of whether you did finish or not, the story is only over when you decide it's over, or when you decide you're not going to. I suppose you could decide it's not over, but still not go ahead and complete it. That's completely within your remit as well. This is a free country, as we established earlier with reference to Professor Stephen Hawking. And if Professor Stephen Hawking says it's a free country, which he doesn't, I don't think he's ever said that about. Why would Professor Stephen Hawking be discussing how free my country is? That's not for him to dictate. If Professor Stephen Hawking or anyone of his ilk is able to decide whether or not my country is a free country, then it's clearly not a free country. I might as well have some meeting going on in Brussels saying, let's decide whether or not Ireland is a free country. It's up to us, us faceless bureaucrats. Of course, they're only faceless if you can't see their faces. If you're looking at some horror film and they show a fella with no head, does he have a face? I don't know. What is a face? Does a face have to be a thing made of flesh that's stuck to the front of your head, or can it be whatever you interface with the community with? I don't know. Because if you turn on your PC and Windows starts up, that's an interface. That's your computer's face to you. But you could uninstall that and install Linux or something, and that would just be an alternative face. It wouldn't necessarily have eyes or a cursor or a mouse or whatever it is. I don't know how Linux works. I haven't even used an Apple computer ever. I don't know how they work. I don't know how. I have an iTelephone here. That doesn't use a mouse. Although I believe there's apps you can connect remotely to a Windows computer and see the cursor there, and there's no mouse involved at all. It's like having that's like having a thing where you interface with your computer and can move the cursor around without using a mouse. That's exactly the same as having a face with no nose. But we all know damn well that there's still a hole in the middle of it that the person breathes through. Unless, of course, they got one of those things halfway down their neck instead, I suppose. That's another alternative. But you're nitpicking now. In my mind, you're nitpicking. I know you're not really nitpicking. This is just me saying all this. This is all rhetorical. Relax. I'm not accusing you of nitpicking. Even if I was, it's hardly as if I'm calling you a paedophile. Relax. You don't have to rush in to defend yourself. If I accuse you of nitpicking, it's not going to destroy your standing within the community for the rest of your life. Relax. You don't have to defend every single bit of your character against some fella on a minority podcast 3 million miles away. Just relax. Calm down. Take a chill pill. Take a couple of whatever pills I have. What have I got here? I've got vitamin A palmitate 15,000 IU vitamin supplement. I've 250 of them. What else have I? I have some paracetamol. Have some dart stimulation drink. Stay sharp. Keeps you going. Why am I listing things that I have? I can't remember. I'm sure there was some reason. Oh yes, chill pill, because I told you to take a chill pill. And there's a heat wave on here at the moment, by local standards anyway. But don't worry, I'm all equipped for that. I went down to Super Value today and got loads of chilled items, which will cool me down as soon as they're frozen. You have to go in the fridge first. Have some icicle type drinks that you freeze and you put in the freezer. They'll be ready in a couple of hours. So don't panic. By the time midday comes, I'll be ready for it. I'll be able to battle it with frozen sugar-laden coloured icicle pops of some kind, whatever they're called. In my day, they were called Mr. Freezes, but it turns out other brands are available, especially during the recession. There's other brands of everything now. You can't go down my local town now without being bashed in the face by several sandwich boards advertising alternatives to Kellogg's cornflakes. They've got Lidl now on the television. They're making a big deal advertising their cornflakes, saying they did blind taste tests to apparently resulted in people saying they preferred the little unheard of brand cornflakes to the Kellogg's ones. How they know this, I don't know. If they're blindfolded, how can you tell which one you're eating? All you can say is, I like that one better. Unfortunately, I can't tell you which one it is. So this probably isn't going to help with your survey. You could probably just lie anyway, I suppose. That's not that I'm saying Lidl would lie. Lidl is one of the most honest stores known to man, as far as I can see. The Lidls that I attend, they don't even seem to need security guards. That's how honest they are in there, because it rubs off on their customers. Although there's stuff in there that people would be highly likely to steal. They've got batteries and razor blades. They've got deer meat. I got venison steaks in Lidl once. Don't worry, I didn't steal any of this. I'm just saying it's quite surprising that they don't have security guards in Lidl here. Maybe they have them in the ones in the city. I don't know. I don't go into the city very often. I'll be going into the city soon. I'll have to have items that need to be attended to and issues that need to be dealt with there. But that's hardly relevant to this discussion. Anyway, on with the show.
Hello, I'm Professor Stephen Hawking. I've learned everything I know from Into Your Head, except when it's about me. I kind of know that stuff already by default. And so can you. Just continue listening for details.
Oh, yes, that's what we were talking about. The cats, the two cats in the two bars in the same thing. They say, you know the whole. You heard it earlier. I was trying to figure out whether I finished that story. I've decided that I have. I finished that story. It's complete. It's as complete as can be. That's not to say I can't continue at a later date if I choose to do so. They said, they used to say that the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was complete after the first 3 installments, and then look what happened there. They had a 4th and a 5th, and then they had a posthumous 6th that another fella wrote. They might even have a 7th at some point. Who's to say? Maybe I'll write a 7th. Maybe I'll write a 7th installment of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or maybe I won't, because it's not really within my remit. I hasn't been asked to do so. That's not to say you have to wait till you're asked until you do stuff. Oh no, you could go ahead and do stuff. I could go out now into that field over there, where they used to have the ploughing championships. I could go over there and start ploughing, in the hope that someday the ploughing championships will come to this town again, and I'll be judged as an official entrant and win something. But that would seem, on balance, within the odds, the likelihood of all that happening would seem rather a wasteful thing to do. Well, no, nothing to stop me. You're allowed to do stuff, even if there seems to be no point to it. You don't have to have a point. You don't have to justify everything. If I go down to the shop now and get some venison steaks and bring them home, and someone comes up to me and says, "What do you need venison steaks for?" I'm perfectly entitled to say, I didn't say I needed them. I got them anyway. You're allowed to get things that you don't need. You're allowed to do things that you don't need. This is a free country. Professor Stephen Hawking says so. And if he says so, well, then that's irrelevant, because he's not from this country. I don't know if I should have stated this earlier, but the whole rethinking behind stating earlier that Professor Stephen Hawking is not able to say whether or not this is a free country without sounding unreasonable is because he's not from this country. He's from another country. He's from England or somewhere. He's not from this. I'm in Ireland. Maybe I should state everything from the beginning for all these new listeners. I should state I'm in Ireland. I have 8 cats. Bowsy the second, Pippi, Annie, Laurie, Shrody, Laurie, Frosty, Pippi, Muddy, Jody, Laurie. I have 8 cats. I drink a lot of energy drinks and coffee. What else do you need to know? I live about an hour and a half from Dublin. Not Dublin, Texas, Dublin, Ireland. If there's anything else you need to know as a new listener, feel free to contact me, studio@intoyourhead.com. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter at intoyourheadpod, facebook.com/intoyourheadpodcast, etc. It's all there on the website, intoyourhead.com. And incidentally, do me a frigging favour and vote for this thing in iTunes. Go to iTunes and search for Into Your Head and frigging, do the 5-star thing and then write a review saying it's absolutely fucking fantastic. Except don't swear, because they might reject it or something. This stuff is all important, everything's important. Everything that I say is important. I've been doing this for several years, I know what's important and what's not important. Professor Stephen Hawking knows his area of study, and I know my area of study, and never the twain shall meet. That was a sitcom. There was a sitcom in England in the 80s called Never the Twain. It was about 2 elderly antique shop owners, rivals who lived next door to each other. One was posh and one was non-posh, and it made for great rivalry and comedic situations. They're probably all dead now, I don't know. Is your man dead and is the other fella dead? I don't know. Anyway, suffice to say, good morning.
Do you have requests, questions, ringworm, comments, suggestions, clarifications? Contact Neal at studio@intoyourhead.com. That's studio@intoyourhead.com.
Good cat.
Help support this free podcast. Go to intoyourhead.com/tipjar.
Sit, Kofi, sit. Good cat.